Hello and greetings fellow StarCrafters. PGL Milncraft here with a 1 versus 1 between the red Terran player Liquid Jinro and the blue Zerg player I am Losira. A quick little background, these are two relatively popular players. I am Losira is very good. I actually watched him back when he was in Code A, and I watched him work his all the way up to Code S, and then actually, I think it's not the last season, but the season before that, he actually made the finals of Code S before losing to his teammate, I am Nesty. I am Nesty being one of the best, well no, probably the best Zerg versus Zerg player in the world, and he's also a very good Zerg versus Protoss as well. Just a very good all-around player, really, and Losira did lose to him fairly handily, but you know, like, it's very difficult to beat I am Nesty, and Losira did a terrific job in that game. Jinro, also popular. He is a foreigner, as a non-Korean. He's, I would say he's kind of underperformed his hype. People kind of looked at him as one of the better foreigners, and he did, I believe, participate in the GSL for a little bit, and he was actually voted in, just to show a bit of his popularity, he was voted into the All-Star game. Now, I didn't actually watch his actual performances in the All-Star game, but I believe he did do a very good job in those particular matches. The All-Star game was a game that the GSL had right before the finals, which were last weekend. Speaking of the finals, just to talk about this a little bit, looks like a standard bill before I go on to the finals, but he did not get a refinery first, he got a refinery after his barracks, and it looks like Losira is in fact going for a hatch first, and indeed he is. But to talk about the finals, holy cow. Okay, you need to watch, if you don't watch any of the finals, you never watch the finals, go to TV, you can watch game 1 of the finals for free. That game is just absolutely ridiculous. It is some of the best Terran versus Terran. It's probably the best Terran versus Terran game I've ever seen. It is absolutely nuts. I'm not going to give anything away, but it's just an absolutely incredible game. You will not regret having watched it, especially since it's not going to cost you anything, and you can watch it in high def, because that's the way TV does it. You can always watch the game 1 of any series for completely for free. So I definitely encourage you to go watch that. Really incredible game. Looks like Jinro is going to be scouting the incorrect direction there, and then he's going to slide on over and he's going to be able to catch the pool. He will not be there time to bunker rush, although he is filtering a marine across. So, I mean, it's possible he could start building a bunker. It will, I mean, I guess it'll hurt Losira's economy just a little bit to pull a couple of extra drones there off of the hatchery, but I don't think he's going to get any drone kills, at least, like, it seems very unlikely that that's going to be the case, to get any drone kills. Looks like he is going to be, Losira is going to be drone scouting. The marine is going to see the drone there, but it's going to be too late. The other marine coming from behind, though, might actually... Oh, actually, what is Losira doing with his drone? Now, if it's possible, actually, he's going to be able to pick off this drone. Not quite going to be the case. However, that drone doesn't really have anywhere to hide, so if that marine chases him down, he won't be able to do anything. Looks like, in fact, Jinro did decide that it's too late to bunker rush, and he is sending one marine back while this marine tries to chase down the last remaining drone, and that drone is going to get taken down. Just a little bit of scoot and shoot micro from that marine. Good job from Jinro, able to deny scouting while taking out the drone. This marine is now going to walk back a little bit more scenic route, you know, right around the back of these mineral patches, gets to take a look at these nice shiny crystals as he goes across, and it will also mean that he will most likely be able to avoid death from these Zerglings. However, that might not necessarily be the case. It looks like Jinro will be pursuing a Reactor Hellions expand. Very standard build against Zerg players these days, become very popular. Hellions are extremely effective in terms of establishing map control, especially to a hatch first Zerg, because they get speed so late, and slow Zerglings are just absolutely horrible against Hellions. Like, they just do absolutely nothing. That Zergling gets taken to the supply depot and will get taken out. Looks like Jinro forgot to put him on hold position. This SCV is still sliding around, able to get a pretty good scout, actually. Just making sure that he doesn't have any sort of roach rush or anything like that on the way. He can also take a look at the pool and see that it is currently jiggling, meaning that speed is on the way. Looks like he is going to be taken out by the Queen, though, and not going to be too much more relevant. The Hellions are not coming down. The Spine Crawler will hopefully be finished just in time. Actually, it's going to be a little delayed, so the Hellions will get a couple of shots against the drones, but Losira, being the good player that he is intelligently moving towards the back and putting his Queens up to be able to block the Hellions from getting into the base. Which means that Jinro will not be able to pick off any of the drones. Jinro, if he was a little bit more aggressive with his Hellions, could actually move him around back here and try to take out as many drones as he could. Probably Losira's drones wouldn't be down there if that was the case, though. I have noticed one thing that pro players do, but high-level amateurs is what I want to say, don't do, is pros are a lot more cautious with their Hellions. They're a lot more liable to assume that their opponents will control their drones properly as to not lose a lot of drones to, you know, two red flame Hellions sneaking into a base or something like that. So in a case where it could be dangerous to like maybe send the Hellions around here or sometimes, you know, jump up the ramp or something, pro players are less likely to do that than other players are. I'm not sure exactly why that is, but I do think it has something to do with skill. Looks like Jinro actually is going to do that just a little bit though, and went in for one more attack. He actually did not get a kill off of that. They only have 2 kills, and I think only one of those was a drone. I believe the other one was a Zergling, but meanwhile these speed Zerglings from up here are going to, but they got double hit. A bunch of them got double hit, so they're very low on health right there. So the Hellions are successfully doing a lot of damage to those Zerglings. Very nice control from Jinro there, able to get a lot of Zergling kills before he went down. This Hellions is definitely worth it. He no longer has any sort of Hellions. He did switch the tech lab with the factory and the reactor so that the barracks is now producing Marines at twice the rate. And siege mode is almost completed as well. I don't think Jinro's actually moving out here, or if he is, I would say it's relatively foolhardy. That force is too small to be able to challenge any sort of serious Zerg force. I think he's just going to clear out the watchtowers, then probably head home. It is possible he's going to try pushing, though. He is building 3 more barracks, which means that he is going to be able to rapidly increase the amount of forces. You could see he was dropping a supply depot, meaning he wanted to be very careful that he did not want to get supply blocks. So actually it looks like he is going to try to take a little bit of action, very early action against a Zerg player with very small forces. It's going to be a stipless attack, and Losira actually might get punished for this. That's why he's trying to play around right now and slow down the force as much as possible. Looks like he is actually in fact going for the counterattack. Jinro looks like he is just going to ignore that though. Those 2 Marines are going to get taken out. Looks like he is actually going to have to abandon his expansion, and he will be setting up the siege tank there that'll prevent any sort of run by. But what he is doing is delaying it in order for him to be able to finish Baneling Nest, which he did in fact just finish. That Queen moved up and took a couple of shots from the siege tanks. It looks like Jinro is actually setting up for a hard contain outside of the Zerg player's base. Now I believe, yeah, once you bust these rocks, you are able to get up out here. And then I think there are rocks on this side as well, and then you can go through this ramp as well. So it is not completely a full contain, but it does stop Jinro from being attacked from the direct center of his base. And I think that most likely it is designed so that he can push out easier in the future, because once he has the flank is kind of defended there, then it's going to make it very hard to flank these tanks, and then once he gets more reinforcements in. But Losira, being incredibly intelligent, is actually positioning his Zerglings in such a way that he was not going to allow for any sort of reinforcements just by going around the hard side. So I kind of find it confusing. I find it difficult to see exactly what Jinro wants to accomplish in this attack. It looks like he's just putting his forces in a vulnerable position and unintentionally splitting up his forces at the same time. Meanwhile, he still is not actually getting stim. I don't think, okay, no, he's getting combat shield first. So he will not have stim for the final attack, which can make him incredibly vulnerable to Baneling. Looks like those Zerglings are going to get surround on all of those forces. They will be able to pick up the speeder tank and all of those Zerglings, and are going to force the liftoff on this expansion as well. Looks like they're actually going to run into the main there. That was not a very good decision. He actually lost a lot of Zerglings. Jinro had a lot more forces in the main than Losira realized. He has more Zerglings streaming out to the side. Now this is a lot of Zerglings that he's building. I believe he's building, yes, a number of Banelings in the middle. It looks like he's going to sandwich this. There is only 9 Marines here. They are in bunkers, which is going to make them a little bit safer than normal. Oh, but nice job from Losira, able to cut off the reinforcement from Jinro right there. This is going to put Jinro in a very tight spot, and Losira's supply is increasing dramatically. He's now up by 13 supply. He's been able to lock down the expansion again, and most likely kill a number of SCVs as well. Looks like he is actually just target firing the Orbital Command, able to deal some more damage to it. It is now at just over half health. Meanwhile, these Zerglings are able to pick off a couple of Marines going around the bottom side as well. More bunkers are going up for Jinro. Looks like he's slowly bunker pushing his way into the base. However, that is a lot of Banelings right there, and Baneling speed is in fact completed. So I don't think Jinro's going to have a very easy time holding this, especially if Losira decides to flank him with the Zerglings from behind. The forces here are just not enough. There's only 3 siege tanks and 8-9 Marines. Like, that's just nothing, even with the bunkers. Really, I mean, Losira is up here playing around, but I think what he should do is he should just clear this out, and then he can bring all of his forces to bear up here. Looks like he's moving in and out. That siege tank does have a good range, however, so he's not going to be able to get in there, and the Marines have a nice shield wall around it, not to mention the actual shields that they have. Oh, actually, he's got Mutalisks on the way. So it is possible... It's possible he's going to try to use Mutalisk. He's probably, when he gets the Mutalisk, he's going to use those to help break the contain, and then, you know, further kind of attack up here and harass with the Mutalisk after breaking the contain. Looks like the SCV is actually able to get a lot of scouting information, and the SCV is going to spot the Mutalisks. That's unfortunate for Losira, but his forces were just a little bit out of position, so it was not able to be helped.